Hi, my name is Timothy Bernardi. I am the Safety Director for Mater Southeast and a member of the Walt Disney World Contractor Safety Committee. Today I'm discussing my approach to giving an on-site safety talk. These are some of the ideas I use when presenting information related to potential on-site hazards and effective controls. Let's begin with a couple of priorities that should be in place before you begin your talk. First, have a translator available. If we believe the information being presented is important and will protect our field workers, it should be delivered in both English and Spanish. Not only will it help increase hazard awareness, in my opinion, it demonstrates respect for our Spanish-speaking workforce. Second, when you're giving a presentation on a construction site, be sure you are wearing full personal protective equipment. Hard hats, eye and hand protection, compliant high visibility vests or shirts, heavy work pants with no holes, and of course, sturdy work boots. I've got a decent collection of Jordans in my closet, but I'm not going to wear Nikes when giving a safety talk on a construction site. Third, while leading your talk, face your audience, maintain gestures at chest level, and please keep your hands out of your pockets. Also remember to smile, if only just a little bit. Finally, avoid finger-pointing rhetoric, as in, you better follow these protocols regarding fall protection or you're going to be in trouble. These workers are adults. We are not on site to berate them with a negative or patronizing tone. So how can we structure our safety talks? My approach focuses on 5 sections: the introduction, the scope of work, training, giving a gift, and calling for questions. The introduction. Here's a simple way to start a safety talk. Begin your presentation by offering a greeting, saying the date, reporting on labor levels, and providing a weather forecast. For example, good morning. Today is June 6, 2025. We have a crew of 68 people on site. The weather today is going to be hot, with temperatures reaching the lower 90s. And keep in mind we are expecting rain late this afternoon. By identifying the date and the crew size, the talk becomes subtly focused on the specific day of work. The weather information is also specific to the day and is also safety related. When informing your crew about high temperatures, you have the opportunity to remind them about heat and hydration. Additionally, if heavy storms are in the forecast, you can warn them about safety issues such as mud and water intrusion, which can create slip and fall hazards, or protocols related to high winds and lightning. Of course, information related to weather is conveniently accessible via a cell phone. The scope of work. The next section of your presentation can reference the specific activities your crew will be managing during the day. At Mater, a large portion of our work is constructing metal-framed, insulated, and finished gypsum board assemblies, and we are often utilizing aerial work platforms. So here's how I include this in a safety talk. So today we'll be continuing metal framing. If you are cutting with a chop saw, remember to get a hot work permit, have an accessible fire extinguisher, and a designated fire watch. Face shields and safety glasses must be worn when cutting. We will also be installing gypsum board. When handling this material, please use proper lifting techniques. Do not bend at the waist, lift with your legs, and whenever possible, lift with a partner. For those of you operating aerial work platforms, scissor lifts, please make sure you have your training certification card accessible and inspect your equipment before beginning your work. Specific discussion about the day's activities provide the group with an opportunity to focus on the task at hand, any potential hazards, and the effective controls to mitigate those risks. Training. So we've got our translator, we're wearing proper PPE, we've given our introduction, and we've provided a quick overview of the workday's scope of activities. The next segment can focus on a training exercise. The intent of this section would be to provide an overview of construction safety skill sets. Training can include topics related to general safety protocols, changing environmental conditions, the proper use of equipment, or even a short presentation on a specific injury treatment. An example of this might be how to properly wear a full body harness as part of a personal fall arrest system. For this part of the talk, the presenter could recruit a volunteer to wear a harness and explain how straps should be placed and adjusted. The content could also include information on how to properly inspect a harness, how webbing should be free of tears, frays, and how metal parts should be in good condition and free of rust. The training segment can also remind workers that harness labels should be legible and where the date of a harness inspection can be documented. One more important point. Make sure you take the opportunity to have your audience sign and date the form documenting your safety talk. In his book, OSHA Defense for the Construction Industry, Tampa attorney Trent Cotney notes, remember, when it comes to training and safety, if you cannot prove it with signatures and dates, it didn't happen. Giving a gift. Finally, when I lead a safety talk, I always end by giving a gift. Nothing elaborate or over the top, rather something positive like, we just got a new supply of gloves if anyone would like to exchange an older pair. Or, for those of you working outside, we have some dark safety glasses available. Or, we just iced down some waters this morning if you'd like to grab a bottle. Also, today we have squinchers, different flavors and sugar-free. Even if the gift is verbal, offering praise to an individual or the entire crew for maintaining standards related to safety, efficient production, or quality control, it still becomes a positive moment at the end of the talk. Calling for questions. During your safety talk, you'll want to engage your team. Be sure to ask the group if anyone has any questions. That call for questions can occur multiple times during your presentation and not just at its end. For example, in the training segment, you might find the need to read more detailed technical material off a sheet of paper. During that section, at least once, stop reading, look up, and ask, does anyone have any questions so far? And by the way, it's not a bad idea to turn that question over to your audience. As in, Sir Roberto just asked, when you're wearing a body harness, where should the D-ring be located? Does anyone know the correct answer? Of course, there may be times when you might not know the answer to a question. In those cases, simply say, I don't know, but let me get back to you. But please remember, you should absolutely circle back with the correct answer as quickly as possible. Make it a priority. You might also consider revisiting that question and presenting the answer at the next safety talk. Conclusion. So that's how I structure my safety talks. I have this presentation as an audio file if anyone would like to reach out for a copy. I hope you found these last few minutes informative and enjoyable. And remember, when talking to your crew, smile, show a little energy, and keep your hands out of your pockets. Stay healthy and safe.